Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and our dear students who are watching this program. My name is Sima Gilbert Gift, with my colleague Livingstone from Uganda National Association of Sign Language Interpreters, and we are your teachers today. Today's lesson is taken from Senior 2 Mathematics, but can benefit all of us, irrespective of the level you are in, as long as you are able to read and interpret what we are doing, because it's about business. Our topic today is business arithmetic. So get your pens, get your papers, and anything that can help you calculate and note down as we start today's lesson. Business arithmetic. By the end of this lesson, we will have learned how to calculate the business profit and business loss in case it happens. Okay, let's get started. Let's start by thinking about your favorite items that you use at home. Do you know the things that you use at home? For example, for my case, I use things like cabbages, tomatoes. I use baking flour. I use cooking oil, I use beans, and so many items that we get and use at home. But where do we get these items from? For my case, I get my items from Nalongo's shop just across. Think about where you get your daily items from. Do you get them from your garden? But there are some you buy. Where do you buy them from? Make a brief list of what you use at home and also identify where you get such items from. Okay, let's use my example of Nalongo's shop. I buy the cabbages, the tomatoes, the cooking oil, the baking flour, but she does not have a garden for tomatoes. She does not have a garden for onions, but she sells them. And even in our sub-county, there is no factory for baking flour, but she sells it. I have a question for you. Where does Nalongo get all these items from? Where? But also, where Nalongo's shop is, there are some other shops in the neighborhood. Have you ever stepped in those shops? Do they have the same items as there are in Nalongo's shop? The quick answer is yes, they do. Yes, they do. So if they do, then where do those shops get their items from? I'm going to share with you where these shops or shopkeepers get their items from. In business, there is another group of people called wholesalers. Wholesalers are people who sell items in bulk. For example, if you go to a wholesaler, you cannot buy one bottle of soda. You have to buy in crates of soda. And I can see some of you have a question. Then what name do we give to a person like Nalongo? In business, Nalongo is referred to as a retailer. Nalongo is referred to as a retailer, and so are the rest of the shops or shopkeepers. It's either a retailing shop and the business person is called a retailer. So we are now going to look at those terms, retailer and then wholesaler. And after that, we are going to look at, for example, this is a retailer in her shop and she sells all sorts of items. When you look at that picture or when you look at the video in front of you, you'll see that this lady has soda, has baking flour, has soap, has milk, and so many other items. But also, this is another retailing shop. And these people are also selling in retail because you can buy from them a cup of beans in small quantities, but also in big quantities. This is a supermarket. A supermarket is also an example of a retail shop. And this is a wholesale shop. Wholesale shop because they are selling the same item but in big quantities. That is baking flour, but it is sold in big quantities. And this is also a wholesaler for matoke. Now, let me introduce some of the terms that are used in business. The first term we're going to look at is cost price. Cost price is the price at which the retailer buys items from a wholesaler or a manufacturer. Cost price is the price at which the retailer buys items from a wholesaler or a manufacturer. For example, if we get back to our example of Nalongo's shop, where she buys baking flour from, she buys it at a certain price, and that is cost price. The second term is selling price. Selling price is the price at which a retailer sells the items to other buyers or the public. If we use the same example of Nalongo's shop, when you go to buy items, let's say cooking oil, from that shop, you will buy it at a selling price. Now, retailers resell items to other people at a higher price so that they get some extra money. That's how they earn. And that extra money is called profit. Therefore, profit is the extra money that goods are sold for. And if we were to use the terms cost price and selling price, profit is equal to selling price minus cost price. So let's take a brief break and then we will be back to calculate profit and loss. So, welcome back from that short break. Let's now calculate profit and loss. Let's learn how to calculate profit and loss. Let's have this example to help us demystify or simplify the terms selling price, cost price, and profit. The example is shown on your screen, but let me read through for you. A shopkeeper bought a crate of soda from a wholesale shop at 18,000 Uganda shillings. He sold each bottle at 1,000 Uganda shillings. How much money would he get from selling all the bottles? And what is the profit? As we calculate, just before we calculate this, you need to first understand the question. A shopkeeper bought from a wholesale shop at 18,000 Uganda shillings. Therefore, 18,000 becomes our cost price, because we learned that cost price is the price at which a retailer buys from a wholesaler. So 18,000 is our cost price. And this crate was sold in bottles. I hope each one of us likes soda, and when we buy it at about 1,000 shillings. So when you buy at 1,000 shillings one bottle, then that means you have to consider all the bottles in the crate in order for you to know the selling price for the entire crate of soda. So get your pens and pencils and papers, and let's start calculating. That is our crate of soda which was bought. And when you look at this crate, it has 24 bottles of soda. So 24 bottles of soda, it means that if each bottle was sold at 1,000 shillings, then 24 bottles times 1,000 for each bottle will give us 24,000 Uganda shillings. Therefore, our selling price for this crate of soda is 24,000 Uganda shillings. Profit is equal to selling price minus cost price. Our selling price is 24,000 shillings. Subtract 18,000 shillings, and that gives us the profit of 6,000 Uganda shillings. Therefore, we've been able to calculate the profit. In business, there are some cases when the selling price is less than the cost price. Those things happen in business. For example, if you're selling tomatoes, you realize that your tomatoes are going to get spoiled, then you have to think. You need to get some little money out of it. If you need to get some little money out of it, then it's important that you sell them off such that you do not lose everything. Now, when the selling price is less than the cost price, then the business makes a loss. And a loss is not interesting. But it's also important for you to calculate the loss. You need to know how to calculate the loss, such that you know when the business is making a loss and when the business is making a profit. Let's look at this example. Musa bought a radio at 60,000 Uganda shillings and sold it to his brother at 55,000 Uganda shillings. Did Musa make a loss or a profit? So this question gives us the cost price of the radio at 60,000 shillings and the selling price of the same radio at 55 Uganda shillings. So the question is, did Musa make a loss or a profit? We just said that when the cost price is higher than the selling price, then the business makes a loss. In this case, our cost price is 60,000 and selling price is 55,000. And if we are to calculate, you'll find that selling price minus cost price is going to give us negative 5,000. And if you get negative 5,000 or any other negative number, then it means the business has made a loss. And when the number is positive, then the business will have made a profit. So in this example, Musa made a loss of 5,000 Uganda shillings. As we conclude this lesson, we have learned a number of things. One, we have learned that a retailer buys from a wholesaler. A retailer buys from a wholesaler, and the retailer sells to the public at a higher price in order to make a profit. We have also learned that when the selling price is greater than the cost price, then the business is making a profit. When the selling price is higher than the cost price, then the business is making a profit. And we have also learned that when the selling price is less than the cost price, the business is making a loss. And we have also learned how to calculate the profit in a business and how to calculate a loss in a business. Thank you very much for being part of this lesson, and we will continue with business arithmetic in our next lesson. Thank you.